The 2026 Minnesota Golf Show is swinging into the Minneapolis Convention Center February 13th through 15th, and we want your business on the green. With thousands of passionate golfers roaming the floor, this is your chance to get your brand in front of this quality demographic with a vendor booth or larger sponsorship. And this year's ambassador, NFL Hall of Famer and Viking legend John Randall. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Want in? Don't wait for your invitation to land in the fairway. Call Bernie Lauer at 651-632-6646 or email blaur@hbi.com before the best spots are gone.
Join me, John Randall, at the North American Banking Company Minnesota Golf Show February 13th through the 15th. It's your chance to try out the newest clubs and equipment from the biggest names in golf. Improve your game with free lessons and clinics from PGA pros. And when you're done, relax at the 19th Hole Lounge with your favorite post-round beverage.
Tickets on sale now at mngolfshow.com. Save $3 with advanced purchase. Each ticket includes 14 free greens fee passes at area courses. Learn more at mngolfshow.com.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1698, January 20, 2026. 52 degrees is the record high on this day. That was in 1908. It was 32 below on this day in 1888. And on this day,
January 20th.
in 1982, 17 inches of snow. That was followed by a day with no snow and then another 17 inches on the 22nd. I'll get to that tomorrow. How's that? Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
I have memories of that 17 inches of snow. That was Super Bowl. No, the Super Bowl was January 14th, 1982, Cincinnati and San Francisco in the Silver Dome.
Is that when you got a call?
Yeah. And, but why would I still have been there on the 20th? That doesn't make sense. I must have been home for these snowfalls. The Super Bowl was as early as January 14th. But anyway, we had
January 14th.
Yeah, that's right, Matt.
That's
well, they didn't
what is
have
this one, February
15
8th?
rounds of playoffs.
Oh, that's true.
You know.
And back then, they did not have the break that they do now, correct?
The 2 week?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Who won that one? Frisco?
Frisco. Cincinnati's never won one.
I had a problem with my computer in that.
Like the
game.
Vikings, John.
Is that when it slipped?
It did, Matt.
It slipped about 40 feet.
Yeah.
Airborne for 40 feet.
How big of a device is that, roughly? A spare tire?
Back then, those prehistoric computers are about the size of a suitcase.
Well,
When you had to tell management that your computer was down,
Inoperable.
how did you do that? What did you say?
If I recall, I just didn't bring it back.
and what he meant by down was it was down 4 stories.
Right, next to the guy selling beer.
That was an accident.
Yeah,
This is post Mojo Wire, right?
Yes.
I once accidentally punched a laptop screen, and I went to IT or whoever gave it to me and said it fell off the table.
That's right. That happens.
And they didn't believe it at all.
You would think GLers would know this by now. We don't do birthdays.
No, we don't.
No. Brittany Johnson. Hi, guys. My boyfriend and future husband. We don't do this, do we?
No,
Wait,
but
where's Brittany from? I know.
Let her plead her case.
Is
and
this
just
the
tell her
Brittany
no.
I know? Couldn't be.
I don't know if you know her.
Down the hall?
Absolutely loves your show. He listens, and I get to listen every weekend as we travel for our kids' sports and activities. Blended family with 6 kids. I've never seen him smile, relate, and have the best time connecting to you all and all of your viewpoints regarding the state of Minnesota. I'm desperately pleading if you can wish your number one fan a happy birthday on January 28th. He will be 38. His name is Craig Messer. She provides his phone number. Hey, lady, it's bad enough I'm mentioning. We're not going to call the guy. We're not going to call him.
This is not the Brittany I know, but it's the 20th. That's 8 days from now.
Or a week ahead.
That's a week from tomorrow.
Craig better be listening every day. But what
Today's the 20th.
Oh, you said 28th.
28th.
No, January 20th, today.
Okay, you
well,
did
maybe
say
if you
20th.
could enunciate.
But what did she say about he doesn't smile?
No, he gets a smile from us.
Oh, he gets
He
a
can't.
smile.
He can't write eights, and he can't read.
Can't say.
He can't read them
Doesn't
either.
work.
January 20th, Craig Messers. Happy
zeros.
birthday. You're 38 years old. You got Brittany to thank for that. We're not calling you.
Right, we're not doing that birthday.
Yeah, and in about 10 minutes, you're going to be looking at 60. So enjoy life today, right now.
Okay, that's a little wisdom.
Positive upbringing. No, you
A little
You're
wisdom
going
from
to
Kenny.
be hitting
there.
60 and going, what the hell just happened?
One of the sites I've really grown to like reading is the Minneapolis Times. We're blessed. We have Alpha, we have American Experiment, we have Minneapolis Times, we have Sahan Journal, and they're doing the Lord's work on reporting things that just aren't going to get reported otherwise. And there was a piece it was yesterday, the 19th, a piece written by Cally Proctor, and it was called "The Quiet Indoctrination of Fragility." And boy, it was a great piece. And she writes, earlier this month, I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read it till we get to the point. How's that?
Yep.
Earlier this month, a Minneapolis woman, Renee Good, was fatally shot during an incident involving Immigration and Customs Enforcement. In the hours that followed, the language escalated quickly. Murder, terrorism, propaganda, each word carrying its own political weight. People began arguing not only about... I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt myself. Chris, I need that thing you printed for me to go get. Each word carrying its own political weight. People began arguing not only about what happened, but about what it meant. Regardless of where one lands politically or whether one views the shooting as criminal, tragic, reprehensible, or the grim outcome of years of escalating rhetoric, is not a justification for suspending the education of tens of thousands of children. Yet that is precisely what followed. Minneapolis public schools closed for 2 days in the immediate aftermath. Since then, Minneapolis and several surrounding districts, including St. Paul, Richfield, Robbinsdale, Fridley, Bloomington, and others, have made in-person attendance optional, offering temporary e-learning through mid-Feb for students who feel unsafe attending schools. The rationale is framed around safety, care, and emotional well-being. In my place of work, it was all anyone talked about: emergency meetings, collective processing, public displays of outrage and grief. There was an unspoken assumption that there was a correct emotional response and that we would perform it together. I understand grief. I respect fear. But what I witnessed was not discernment. I choose to send my kid to a private Catholic school. I pay for it. I do so knowing it operates outside the public system. Different curriculum, different funding, different values. I believe, perhaps naively, that this would also mean a different approach to moments of cultural turbulence. And yet, his school also closed. I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to her point. What unsettled me was not simply the closure itself, but what it revealed, that even institutions ostensibly grounded in stability now reflexively mirror the emotional volatility of the culture instead of buffering children from it. Schools emphasize that in-person learning remains available while attendance has been made optional. But we all know that optional does not affect all families equally. This is not theoretical. It is exactly what COVID revealed, and it is exactly what is happening again. The message being taught is not, this is sad. The message is not, this is serious. The message is, you can't handle this. It's a wonderful point, and she's absolutely correct.
That, for
Part
me,
of the mystery.
that helps me understand why I hate the phrase out of an abundance of caution
Sure.
so much. I've never been able to nail it down. It's always driven me crazy. That says it right there.
And she follows, you cannot handle this with stay home. Suspend ordinary life. Step away from routine. The implicit lesson is that exposure to difficulty, even indirectly, is intolerable, and that functioning in the presence of tragedy is somehow inhumane. This message is everywhere. Young people are increasingly taught to relate to the world not as something to be engaged with, endured, navigated, but as something overwhelming that must be managed from a distance. Discomfort is treated as danger. Difficulty is reframed as trauma. Responsibility is displaced outward. Resilience is no longer modeled. It is treated with suspicion. I think this lady's been listening to us over the years.
I would hope so.
She's right. This is appalling. Tens of thousands of kids told to stay home. She said, because you can't handle it. That's what they're being taught.
When you look back at your own behavior, the way I've looked back on mine during and a little bit after the first 2 years after COVID, are you surprised at what you did? I am shocked at what I did now that it's 5 years past, 6 years past.
What do you mean, Ken?
Oh, I full on absolute panic. Full on panic.
Okay.
But I think, Kenny, it was so much the reason for that. I'm throwing myself into that as well. It's because of the unknown, right? We had no idea because we were dealing with something we had never dealt with before.
Guys, at the same time that we were panicking, were still going to their blue-collar mechanics jobs, construction site jobs, truck drive. They were still doing their jobs. They didn't tuck their tail and run the way I did.
Well, we did the show.
Yeah, but you were at home.
Well, but Kenny's always been at home.
That was when I was sent home.
Yeah, Rook and I were the only ones that came. Rook, we were the ones that showed up.
I mean, talk about loyalty,
because we had no choice.
Right.
I'm going to answer
I gotta
Kenny's
get paid.
question. I did not panic, and I do recall that I handled much of it begrudgingly. I was angry that I was put into this situation where someone walking towards me crossed the street to walk on the other side.
Yeah.
I just thought it was pathetic.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. If I passed somebody on the sidewalk, I wasn't worried about it.
But
I didn't wear a mask.
You were one of the first people to say we've never behaved this way.
This country never behaved that way.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed, obviously.
No, it hasn't. And this Cally, what's her name? Who wrote this for the Times? Cally Proctor. She's in on the secret now. I mean, this is what we do.
It's fill in the blank fear. Take COVID out of it and put rioting or ICE or
And then it's worse than that because then we pass that off as being virtuous.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really interesting piece.
I'm pleased to say that kids I'm familiar with did not have school canceled. They were not offered remote learning. So
At all?
Not for the death of Renee Good, no.
I have a question
Yeah.
that's going to cause some issues, I'm sure. I thought originally the reasons the schools were closing was because immigrant students weren't showing up to school and they wanted to give everyone a chance at learning, and obviously they didn't want to single out, hey, if you're at home, immigrant students, go ahead and learn remotely.
Well, this is interesting because in my twisted mind, it all started when that chase ended up in front of Roosevelt.
Right.
And in my brain, that's what started it. But I think you might be right, John.
I think that's definitely a part of it. Yes.
A couple of factors then.
So her point would work with or without ice here.
Yeah, and that was my next question.
Yeah.
Could you still count that as part of what her point is?
Her point is extremely valid. And you're right. As I think back, I think a lot of it had to do with we're not going to put kids at risk by having them leave their house because they might get trapped by ice. But also a lot of it was caused by the death of Renee Good. And if you're traumatized, we're going to offer you remote learning. The point she's making is kids are being taught that when cultural upheaval happens, they can't handle it. They must be treated differently than we were treated years ago.
Yeah.
Well, but then also they brought those kids down to the state capitol that were just there to wreak havoc and not protest and just make a mess of things. Well, they weren't learning anything.
A lot of that hypocrisy really was made evident during COVID. One of the most glaring examples was the big celebratory funeral for George Floyd. Everyone else in the world is being told, don't go out in public, don't do this, don't do that. And everybody under the sun who was a political type showed up at the funeral,
We could even make it was sooner than that. Remember the mostly peaceful protests?
Yeah.
That was all fine. Now we can do that. That's okay.
But I'm thinking back on that. The Stanley Cup was played before empty seats.
Yeah.
The sports went in the everything.
Remember the Twins sold those caricatures? So you could buy a picture of yourself and put it in.
Now here's an interesting question. Something could come along that would very well motivate the likes of Walz and his minions to do this again. Tell you to stay home. Whatever that might be. Will the country...
No. There's no chance we're going to fall for it again.
No.
Half the country won't fall for it. That's for sure. Half the Mysterian half of the country will fall for it.
It was so destructive that I don't even think the half that you're referring to, I don't even think the vast majority of those people would do it again because of how destructive it was.
I think you're
You
wrong.
think so?
And this is a hill I'm willing to die on, and I'll tell you why.
Not a kind of you want to know
Well,
why?
because we're going downhill here. I noticed something in the news. The community plans a strike and an economic blackout to protest ICE operations in Minnesota. I get the protesting part, but check this out.
You need to tell me.
Faith leaders, unions, and community groups are planning a strike and economic blackout this Friday in response to the Trump administration's Operation Metro Surge. Okay, I get that.
Did we add that to the list, by the way?
The movement, yes, we did. Okay. The movement, which started small, is gaining momentum as more organizations, unions, and businesses join. Well, this ICE presence is killing business. And now you want to set aside a day completely to not have any business? If they have to go to work, they are not going to shop. If they have to send kids to school, then they will find another way to show up in the community, said Chelsea Globitz-Gabiu, president of the Minneapolis Regional Labor Federation, AFL-CIO.
And when all of this is done and a couple of days have passed, what will the result be of their little protest?
We're going to run out a month before the money ends.
That's all I can see. Maybe I'm too blind. I don't know.
Because the administration's sitting around going, whoa, did you guys see what happened?
I'm rooting for those places to say, go bleep yourself, we're open.
Right.
I can't imagine closing my doors for that.
No.
Unless the protest is on my front step, the shingle is out.
Winter is here. Oh, man, is it ever. We're having a real winter. I wonder if they got precision door up at that Kamchatka Peninsula up in Russia. Because those people can't even find their garage.
Right.
Much less wonder if the door works. If you're worried about your door, you have an opportunity now with Precision Garage Door. You can get a new door, $500 off for GLers. That's the door and operator combination. They have models for every budget. If you like your current door, but you're worried it might not make it through the winter because she's creaking funny, book a Precision Door noisy door tune-up special. Take care of the maintenance now. There's a lot of winter ahead of us, and you don't want to get stranded with a garage door that doesn't work. That noisy door tune-up special for $149 includes a 25-point safety inspection. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or book a Precision Door noisy door tune-up special.
Who doesn't love this time of year? Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Underdog is so easy, you just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. If you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So many great players to choose from this time of season, but the way I look at it, I think Matthew Stafford to go higher on yards passing is always a good way for me to go, and Saquon Barkley's a nice pick to go higher on rushing yards. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
I found something else I want to read.
I want to put a period on that Minneapolis Times piece by Cally Proctor. Just the last two sentences are really, really good. And then let's move on. But she says, children do not need to be shielded from every hard thing. They need adults who believe they are capable of being in the world even when the world is difficult. When institutions repeatedly tell children that they cannot handle reality, we should not be surprised when they grow into adults who believe it. This is not empathy, it is abdication.
Amen, sister. Yeah. I know some kids who will soon be facing the loss of their longtime dog. Well, he's fallen down the steps and he can't see. And he's a mess, and they'll have to handle it. It's going to be really bad though, because this dog is really.
What's the book? The Art of Racing in the Rain.
Yeah. Oof. But they'll handle it. They'll handle it.
How old is the dog?
Matthew, did you read it when you were in third grade? Where the red fern grows?
That was one I did read.
My heart's still broken.
I never understood why the fern was going to be red, though.
Dog is about 15.
Oh, the little guy
15 is house money.
It's but he's very active until just very recently.
That's hard.
He had to do a book. The little guy had to do a book report on that last year. Boy, that was a tough one.
Yeah, that's one where you're reading that by yourself because you don't want anybody to see you bawling.
I'm just going to tell him, get over it. Don't worry about it.
Come on. What's coming up on the ride?
All dogs are the same. You're listening to the show today?
No, you should say it smells like Up Dog in here.
Yeah.
What's up?
Another thing that Jordy alerted me to, I've never heard of this organization, but I certainly will be paying attention to it. There's a group called First Things. They produce a journal. It's aimed at advancing a religiously informed public philosophy for the ordering of society, focusing on theology, liturgy, history of religion, church history, culture, education, society, politics, literature, book reviews, and poetry.
That's too much,
It's
Joe.
interreligious and interdenominational and ecumenical, especially Christian and Jewish. It articulates Christian ecumenism.
Yep.
Christian-Jewish dialogue, erudite social and political conversation, and a critique of contemporary society.
Good night,
words,
everybody.
It sounds like a pretty good group of thinkers.
We'll see you tomorrow,
See you
everybody.
later.
Good night.
Take care.
So, in January 14th, in the journal First Things, is a piece...
.com, by the way, firstthings.com.
Okay, is a piece written by a guy named Daniel Strand. And it turns out he's from here. He's now a professor. Gabe, what is he a professor of? Ethics at the Air Force War Academy? Yeah. He, a younger guy, and he wrote a piece called The Banality of Minnesota Fraud. And it's just like Cally Proctor's piece was right up our alley. So is this, and we're underway. We have the machinery is rolling. I would want him on the air to discuss this. He said, having lived here, he doesn't. Oh, here it reads. Trust is vital to the functioning of a society, and we feel its absence palpably in cities and regions that lack it. When I grew up in the suburbs of Minneapolis, we rarely locked our front door. The thought that someone would randomly come into our house to steal or hurt us was not on the menu of possibilities. Likewise, Minnesotans have historically had high trust in government because it was effective and transparent. The real damage of fraud is that it corrodes the ability of government to do what it should. Progressives who have an expansive view of government's role in our lives stand to lose the most from declining trust in government, yet they also appear to be the least concerned. Well, I won't read you this whole piece, but I want to read you the paragraph that motivates me to see if we can't get this fellow to join us and discuss what he thinks let's see. Where's the piece on? Where's the paragraph I want? Here it is. The dirty little secret is that for all their talk of the public good, progressives do not have a conception of the common good because their conception of justice is rooted in a hierarchy of victimhood. When one pulls back the rhetorical layers of leftist ideologues, one finds a constellation of ideas that are wholly anathema to public good of cities, states, or nations. If politics is about cultivating and maintaining those public goods that are essential for the thriving of a political community, the political policies of Minnesota Democrats have not only undermined that basic principle. Identity politics focuses only on difference, what sets us apart, and not when it binds us together. Walz and Democratic leaders in the state refuse to take any responsibility for the massive fraud that is being uncovered. Instead, they accuse Trump and the U.S. attorneys of some malicious plot to attack Minnesota, portraying themselves as victims. Even as the evidence mounts against Minnesota Democratic leaders, they seem intent on making their banality clear for all to see. I envy him that paragraph. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and that last line.
Exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
It's been happening. But I'm going to show you, I want to tell you a little story about the power. Where's that piece you gave me that you printed for me, Reeves?
Should be right there.
Will you
that last line, Joe, they seem
here?
Yeah.
They seem intent in making their banality clear. To me, that means they're just doubling down on the dumb.
No, it isn't, Reeves. That isn't it. Here it is.
That's it right there.
No, that isn't it.
Are we okay?
Reeves, find it. I don't know where it is.
What helps is if you randomly keep pushing the papers around so they go into the same pile again.
I love how when this happens, he can't focus on
That isn't
anything
it.
else.
Definitely have to find
that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Raymond, go to the top. Don't go to the byline.
Wapner,
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Stay
Wapner.
rusty.
We've been
No. You're getting this.
we've been talking about
they're going to be okay.
All right, thank you.
I don't think it's blowing our own horn to say we've been ahead of the curve on this fraud. We've been talking about it, analyzing it, commenting on it.
Boy, have we.
Many of the 5 Eyewitness News guys have been on it, the Care 11 guys, the Channel 9 guys. It's we know what's happening. It's been on our radar. I'll give you the power of social media. Today I was a guest on a morning show in West Palm Beach, Florida. And basically what they wanted was an update on what's it like up there, what's happening in Minnesota, because it's leaking now everywhere into the national consciousness about you got fraud, you got ICE, you got all hell breaking loose in Minnesota. And at one point, the host said to me, boy, that Nick Shirley really revealed everything, didn't he?
Boy.
I said, hey.
Oh, boy.
I said, check this out. I said, we've been talking about that for 5 years. He didn't reveal anything. And I mentioned Jay Coles by name. We got a guy at one of the TV stations, 5 Eyewitness News, who visited closed daycare centers with his camera. This kid didn't reveal anything, I told him, but that's the power of social media, that he could get the hits for it. And then they tried to argue, well, that made it a national story. Yeah. I said, well, already a national story. He just came in and did some film work, and the next thing you know, he's being highlighted as the guy who discovered fraud in Minnesota. I said, that's not the way it happened. It's been going on here for a long time.
Well, we're going to have to cut you short. We got to go to the War of the Roses. The Colts are coming in.
And they said, can't thank you enough for the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's Elton John on the leader.
Did they have a natural, serious curiosity about, or was it to promote, not to promote, but to mention Nick Shirley did this?
No. He came up in conversation. That wasn't the visit wasn't to promote him. No, it was fun. It was a fun. And they did say, "Thank you. You're giving us a different perspective on this."
Got it.
It probably, at one point they said, the president listens to us. He listens to this radio station. I said, really? He ought to be sitting in a rocking chair in front of the breakers trying to suck down a chocolate ice cream cone. I'm not sure they like that one.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Jesus.
You might not be coming on Garage down here.
So, was it one of our stations?
Yes.
Oh, great.
So your agenda then was to get as much email like you would on this show on a different radio station.
Let them handle it.
Here comes the emails, guys.
Let them worry about it.
You can't control yourself.
I can't.
Don't forget to hit send.
I can't. Yeah. No, it was a great conversation. It wasn't.
I've had a lot of people tell me that we should be thankful that even though Nick Shirley did the lazy thing and used everybody else's research except his own, that we should be thankful to him for exposing it to such a wide audience. What do you think of that take?
I'm sure that was my point. The power of social media is extraordinary.
Yeah.
And we saw it with our own eyes.
It's a more subtle way of putting it.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Isn't that with any pub is good pub? I know he didn't solve it, or bring it to the table, but at least
I got nothing against the kid, but to think that he came in here on a white horse and solved fraud or revealed it is preposterous.
True.
That's not the way it happened. And I want to talk about that for a moment, if I might. I find myself resenting the presence of ICE for two reasons. One, I like what ICE does. I've said this yesterday. I don't like how they're doing it. And two, whether they wanted to or not only is fraud off the back burner, it's out on the porch cooling off.
For sure.
It's not even being looked at or talked about. It's a gift to the Walz administration that ICE happens to be here. Because ICE right now is a much bigger story than fraud. The fraud is ongoing. It's in every corner of the Walz administration. The guy who was getting it under control, Joe Thompson, he resigned because of the behavior of ICE. He resented the fact that you're taking a case away from us. We should be prosecuting that case. It's going to disappear. There'll be no transparency. The BCA should have handled it, and he had enough, and he and 6 guys resigned. Now fraud is, they're going to get away with it.
So instead of Walz sitting in the corner with his tail between his legs, he's beating his chest saying, we got to get rid of ICE or we need to get in their face.
Yes.
Wow.
he's been handed this gift of having a couple of weeks now where he can strut his stuff and stick out his chest and go to war with Trump. Nothing's changed. It's still the worst administration in the history of the state, the worst governor in the history of the state, and the most fraud in the country. Nothing has changed, but it's going to be put on the back burner and nobody cares because of the hierarchy of victimhood. Right now, the taxpayers of Minnesota will never count as victims. They don't have a political identity. We're just the taxpayers. White, black, blue, red, yellow, but it's easy to dismiss us as just the taxpayers. We'll never achieve victim status. So Walz is never going to go to bat for the taxpayers of Minnesota. He'll go to bat for people who maintain a political identity. Somalis, for example. It's been killing him to have to to face that. He can't. He doesn't know how. He's not willing to. His progressive ideology does not allow him to. Now, I asked you to print out a piece by Alpha had a piece on Robin Wansley. Let's see what our old friend Wobbin.
Don't start that. No, we don't.
I'm driving in my car.
What did Robin say?
Let's see.
Who are the blue people, though? You said the people that are red,
Smurfs.
white, and blue.
The Smurfs.
I don't know who any blue people.
Robin Wansley, she's a Democratic Socialist City Councilwoman, 2nd Ward, Minneapolis. She's accusing Mayor Fry and Police Chief Brian O'Hara. I guess she was on CNN News Central. I'm unaware of that particular CNN show. She accused Fry and O'Hara of refusing to protect the residents of the city by calling for peaceful protests. Well, Robin wants peaceful protests. Following a second ICE-related shooting last week, Fry and O'Hara called on protesters to either protest peacefully or go home. And then Robin says, I'm confused as to what bait is being taken. And I think what people on the ground hear when our mayor say those type of things, or when our chief of police say, we need you to stand down, what people are hearing is stand down, don't take action, Wansley said. We're not going to take action either because of our local leaders have not taken any action to actually protect their residents. We need you to stand down and allow ICE to do their jobs and do their jobs of shooting residents and expecting immunity to profile residents during traffic stops or on their way to take a bus to get to work. So these are words I think she's putting in the mouths of Fry and O'Hara. She's saying,
Definitely.
You're just telling us to stand down and allow the shooting. She's calling it shooting.
Yeah.
Our residents are showing so much courage, and I'm glad that they're out in our communities because they're doing a lot more than elected officials like myself who were charged with delivering material changes in moments like this to truly get ICE out of Minnesota, Wansley said. Okay, this is not... I think she has put words in the mouths of Fry and O'Hara. I think she's ridiculing Fry and O'Hara. I think what she must want from Fry and O'Hara is their insistence that ICE leave Minnesota. Well, they did file a lawsuit to that end, but that's not going anywhere.
But when she says she delivers material changes in moments like this to truly get ICE out of Minnesota, what translates in my head is that I am pro-crime. I'm pro-illegal immigrants. I'm pro-rape. I'm pro-murder. I'm pro-chaos. That's what my interpretation is.
It's become terribly evident to me that the ideology of our many Robin Wansleys in both cities is that they're entirely okay with there being no immigration enforcement. They're entirely okay with that. I think they would prefer that the United States not have a border, remember, these are Mysterians at heart who don't like the founding of the country. Mm-hmm. They hold capitalism in contempt. They hold the founding fathers in contempt. They were white guys. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like any part of it. She'll enjoy the benefits of living here. She's a hypocrite like all the rest of the progressive ideologues. But that's her public stance. I am in favor of illegal immigrants. That's, to me, I don't think she can deny that. She's in favor of it. Many of her ilk are in favor of it. In the meantime, this state continues to just sink and sink and sink into the quicksand because there are no standards. No one's taking responsibility. No one's upholding rules. Fry and O'Hara come along and say, come on, people, protest peacefully. That's not good enough for Wansley. Wansley wanted them to be more vitriolic and say, get the hell out of this state, just like Fry initially did. But she was apparently disappointed that he backed off that.
Case in point, what Kenny just said. Did you guys see this video over the weekend? A female protester tried to impede an ICE agent, and he pulled up and rolled down his window.
Second reporting. We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
Oh, they're not. No, we're pressing. We're not
that honking. Vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
Was that in front of the Mung fellow's house?
I don't know what house it was in front of.
That was a botch deal. They should have had their
okay, but did you read the whole story? Apparently living there were two offenders, sexual offenders.
Yes.
Now, why they were living with this guy, I have no idea.
Well, they were probably hiding.
I thought they were living there before them 2 years ago. No? Let me look. Let me look at the story.
I would take it he's only 55, but he's considered an elder, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I would think
That's really sad.
I know.
Jeez,
I would think he's the owner of the house, and I think he has a son who lives there, and maybe these two bad guys were friends of the son. Here comes ICE. Well, sloppy work on ICE's part. The old guy you dragged out of the house was not the sex offender.
Or sloppy work on reporters' parts for not telling us this earlier.
The family has lived in the location for 2 years. We're not ICE's intended targets.
No, but the intended targets, John, see if you can track this down, apparently were thought to be living there.
Okay.
That's what's driving me the craziest is when they make a mistake like this, nobody tells us why. ICE is slow to tell us why. Reporters don't seem like they dig it up fast enough.
There should be a briefing.
My preference.
There should be a briefing.
I would like to know why they went there, why the mistake was made, and what we're going to do to change it. It's simple questions. It's not accusatory.
Plus, not to mention, if you're going to pull that guy out, can you put some sweatpants on, leave the blanket, and we'll give you a pullover coat?
I'm sorry I didn't bring with me what I read that indicated to me there were people in the house who were valid targets of ICE. It just was this fellow wasn't.
The two offenders, the definition of the worst, were identified as Louis Mao, who is wanted for sexual assault of a minor, rape, kidnapping, and domestic violence, and Kongmen Vang.
Jeez.
But it doesn't say they both live there, so I'm not sure.
But for all I know, being Hmong, maybe they've been here for a long time and are citizens, which doesn't excuse their behavior. I'm just saying I wonder if they're citizens.
Well, if they're citizens, wouldn't that take ICE out of the thing, and you'd have the sheriff? Or
why aren't the cops arresting these guys?
Correct.
Great question.
In the wee hours of the early morning, I'm not looking for answers like that. I'm on the internet looking for customroasting.net.
Oh, thank God you said that. You had me nervous there for a while.
And that's where I was today. I was there to order up some new French roast, and I actually stumbled on a couple of blends I haven't even sampled yet or even heard of. I'm sorry, I should know this stuff. And the first one that caught my eye is the Jamaican Vacation blend. I've had a Jamaican Vacation, and their coffee has hints of exotic flavors of rich chocolate, creamy. Now, do we say caramel or caramel? Whatever you say, I say caramel, and delicious butter rum and little touch of vanilla. That actually sounds really good. The other one I was looking at is the Scandinavian blend. And then I got really confused because the Scandinavian blend, it's custom roasting specially roasted beans from Mexico, blended with their lightly roasted beans from Brazil. And I'm going, wait a minute, what does that have to do with Scandinavian? And then I read, for a smooth finish with earthy tones and hint of dark chocolate. Well, okay, as a Scandinavian, I'm all in on that one. If you like your coffee dark, don't forget, they still have the Sumatra. It's full body. And you know what? To dumb it down to Kenny speak, it's badass. That's my description, not theirs. If you still haven't ordered from customroasting.net, do it. A good place to start right away would be the GL Sampler Pack. That's 4 10-ounce bags from light to dark roasted, delivered right to your door. And I got to say, very quick and very fresh. Check them out. customroasting.net.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Hey, how are you? Hofferman Water and Connecticut. Ring in the new year with the best quality water known to man. And you know what? Treat yourself.
Yeah!
To Hofferman Water and Connecticut. Your first step, though, is getting on the schedule and having them come out for that free water analysis. And you can do that one of two ways. Call them directly at 612-895-2440, or you can also book your appointment online at HoffermanWater.com. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer. Maybe you're in the mood for a brand new water softener, an iron, rust, and odor filtration system, or a brand new drinking water system, or heck, get all three of them. Why not? Treat yourself in 2026. 612-895-2440 or visit HoffermanWater.com. And that's because Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Do me a favor and mention that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Federal officials are urging a judge to deny Minnesota's attempt to stop the immigration enforcement surge. Sorry, I forgot to look
Well, it's predictable. You got to say it if it's in the news. Go ahead.
You know what, though? I got a lovely, I don't remember who sent it to me, but he sent me something hippo. I saved it in my thing here, where you can find 1,000 synonyms for words.
Yeah.
It's a thesaurus on steroids.
Did you say lovely?
I'm going to start using that. Yeah, lovely email.
Okay.
Anyway, the officials urging the judge to deny Minnesota's attempt to stop that immigration enforcement that has more than 2,000 agents conducting ops in the state. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul had filed the lawsuit against Homeland Security last week, accusing the feds of usurping the state's right to police itself and putting an undue burden on local officials. In response to the lawsuit, Department of Justice lawyers wrote Monday that the state's lawsuit is legally frivolous and claimed it's based on political motivations and not a legal basis. A federal judge declined to immediately rule on the case last week, but had told federal officials to submit their argument by yesterday, which they did, and gave the state until Thursday to respond. A preliminary decision could be made after that time. The state is asking the judge to grant a preliminary injunction to stop ICE agents as well as Border Patrol from conducting any operations, while the government wants any immediate action to not take effect until an appeal. Meanwhile, the federal government has filed an appeal of a judge's order that ICE agents can't detain peaceful protesters or use tear gas against them. This is the newest development in a lawsuit filed on behalf of 6 activists by the American Civil Liberties Union of Minnesota, which allege the federal government is violating protesters' civil rights. The lawsuit lists top officials from the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, and other agencies as defendants. Now to that story we were talking to before the last break. ICE stated, if you're not familiar with this story, what happened is ICE agents, we told you about it yesterday, took Chung-Lee Scott Tao, a 57-year-old, from his home in his boxer shorts and Crocs with a blanket across his shoulders. The door had been broken open by ICE agents. They put him in a car, drove him around, fingerprinted him, and an hour later brought him back with no explanation, no apology, and released him. Tao is a U.S. citizen with no known criminal record. ICE does say the U.S. citizen lived with 2 convicted sex offenders, a claim that the family is vehemently denying. The family says his son, daughter-in-law, and grandson lived there, and neither they nor the owner are registered offenders. DHS provided no further details about the individuals, although court records showed a potential link to a man with the same first name as a registered offender who borrowed a car from a relative, but the families say they are different people, making this even more, convoluted as it turns out. St. Paul Mayor Cally is a family friend of Tao. She called the aggressive actions of federal immigration enforcement agents unjustifiable, says she's livid about the situation. She said to somehow group those individuals with this family is completely irresponsible to justify their actions. There's nothing that they did in that home that is justifiable. This is an American citizen with no criminal record who was sleeping in his own house that they broke a door down and put guns to his daughter-in-law's head.
She strikes me as the kind of woman that you don't want to get mad.
Yes, I would agree.
Being described as dire while in crisis mode, Hennepin Healthcare says its system is in jeopardy of closing as it needs to find tens of millions of dollars in cuts in a matter of months. In a letter to its employees, it outlined its current financial reality and its plans for moving forward. The letter said, "We are now fully in crisis mode and must act decisively. To continue operating, we must identify at least $50 million in savings during the first quarter of 2026. Our fight has been, since we took direct control, was to keep the hospital open," according to Jeff Lundy, Hennepin County Commissioner and chair of the board that now oversees the healthcare system. As for how they got to this point, Lundy pointed to the end of pandemic dollars and a big expected drop in federal support. The letter adds leadership owns responsibility for not acting prudently and with a change of focus in the past. That stops now, the letter added. As for how many job cuts are expected, Lundy told 5 Eyewitness News he didn't have that figure available, but said they'll notify staff first. The message goes so far as to ask employees to share cost-saving ideas, stop non-essential work, and for team leaders to plan for 5 to 10% reductions. Commissioner Lundy also said they plan to ask the legislature to change how the sales tax revenue at Target Field is used, hoping to get some of that to help them out. Why don't we take a quick break here? What you got for us, Mr. Reavers?
You know how they can save money? Switch to North American Banking Company. Is that a segue? Does that kind of count as a segue?
I think it works.
Okay, thank you very much. You know what? It's banking done differently, and they've been at this since 1998, and they wanted to create a better banking experience for everybody, where you get to know your banker, but they also know you. And you do get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's Roseville, 50th in France, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and also in Maple Grove. They offer the same updated online and mobile banking tools tools as all of those other big national banks. And you know what? You might think that a community bank wouldn't have those, but they do. Check it out for yourself. Go online today to nabankco.com to learn more. And you know what? It doesn't matter what you're looking to do, whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been dreaming about. Their experts make it easy. And they are also locally owned and operated. And here's why that's important. That means those loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. So, you know what? For you business owners, you can solve problems quickly and also expand your business with confidence. nabankco.com, once again, to learn more. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Johnny?
Thanks, Chris. In national and international news, the Sell America trade is in full swing today after President Trump and European leaders escalated tensions over Greenland. U.S. bond prices tumbled, sending yields spiking. The U.S. dollar index, which weighs the greenback against a basket of 6 foreign currencies, fell nearly 1%. The euro jumped 0.7% against the dollar. Krishna Guha is the head of global policy and central banking strategy at Evercore ISI. He wrote in a note to clients, "This is Sell America again with a much broader global risk off." As of right now, the Dow is down 827 points for the day, the NASDAQ down 495, and the S&P down about 130.
They don't like that Greenland stuff.
I see footage of Greenland, and I think, and I see all the snow. I think, oh my God, I would never live there. The snow, the cold, the ice, it's got to be miserable. And then I look out the window.
Right,
exactly. And I look at the forecast, and it's 29 below on Thursday night.
Many GLers emailed me, and they perfectly understand the need to get Greenland.
Of course they do.
Yep.
What was the consensus?
If he wants it, it must be right to do.
Oh, boy.
And then we're going to take... No, I'm kidding.
And they're all wearing black tennis shoes, and they're going to be going to a spaceship soon.
The Heaven's Gators?
Yeah.
President Trump compressed a week's worth of diplomatic taunting into a single overnight burst of social media activity overnight, calling NATO Secretary General, announcing a Greenland summit, leaking private messages, mocking Canada's sovereignty, and attacking the United Kingdom over a key U.S. military base. The president began by saying that he had a very, very good telephone call with NATO chief Mark Rutte and agreed to convene talks at Davos in Greenland, a territory Trump is repeatedly suggesting, as we've been talking about, that the U.S. should control. Social media onslaught came as the president escalated pressure on European governments resisting his demand for Greenland, announcing 10% tariffs on 8 European countries. The move has triggered frantic discussion between European leaders over how to contain the crisis that is rapidly moving beyond rhetoric. The president then posted what appeared to be a private text message from French President Emmanuel Macron, questioning his plans for Greenland and offering to host talks in Paris. A French official confirmed the message was authentic. The president followed by sharing an AI-produced image of him presenting a doctored map of the Western Hemisphere, showing Canada, Greenland, and Venezuela all under a U.S. flag to European leaders gathered in the Oval Office. Another image showed him planting a U.S. flag on Greenland while flanked by Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He closed the barrage by attacking Britain over the, quote, and this is in caps, great stupidity of its decision to cede sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, lashing out at plans to transfer Diego Garcia, home of the U.S. military base. This reportedly blindsided London because Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, had welcomed the deal, calling it a critical asset for regional and global security. All of this comes ahead of the president's arrival at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where he will meet with other world leaders. Obviously, lots of things for leaders to talk about with the president's recent comments. Back to the private message from Macron, by the way. Trump posted the message just an hour after he lashed out at Macron for declining his invitation to join the Trump administration's Board of Peace. The president said, "That's all right. I'll just put a 200% tariff on French wines and champagnes.
That'll solve it."
And he'll join.
You know, the prospect of Trump in Davos is delightful. because all the rest of these phonies, it's just cocktail hour. He's going to bluster through there and tell them this is what I'm going to do. They're not used to that. That part's going to be fun.
I hope he tells them what he thinks about their wives, too.
He will.
You got a hot
Last time I saw a face like that, it had a hook in it.
You must have been something before electricity, huh?
I have to admit, John, you kind of lost me right at the outset when you said something about AI. And I started thinking, is there a way to impose or put myself via AI next to Farrah Fawcett in that poster that we all had in our bedrooms in the 70s?
Swimsuit?
Yeah.
I'm
maybe
sure
maybe a GLer could do that for me. Put me in. Maybe she's sitting in my lap. I don't know.
Follow-up question to that.
Get creative.
Which photo would you select to be added to that poster?
Oh, don't you remember the
one
poster?
in the red swimsuit?
No. What photo of you would you put?
The one where you're in football, you're bending over?
About 100 pounds ago. Whatever that one is.
I just imagine the football one Rookie just mentioned with the SIG hanging from the...
where I look like, what's his name from ELO?
Bigfoot.
Yes.
From ELO.
Bigfoot. More than 100 vehicles smashed into each other or slid off an interstate in Michigan yesterday as snow fueled by the Great Lakes blanketed the state. The massive pileup prompted the Michigan State Police to close both directions of Interstate 196 Monday morning just southwest of Grand Rapids, while officials worked to try and remove all the vehicles, including more than 30 semi-trailer trucks.
Did anybody die, John? I'm sorry to interrupt.
They did not. There were numerous
So then I would like to have the camera set on there where it's just...
It does make one wonder about the semis.
Huh. Does
right?
it?
Well, the same thing happened last week in Pennsylvania. They had a 60-car pileup.
Compared to years and years ago, I'm uneasy on the freeway. If I'm traveling to Chicago, for example. Truck drivers are different than they used to be.
Boy, I'll say.
If I get pulled over for speeding past the trucker, that trooper or LEO's got an argument on his hands because I was
thinking the same thing today.
I blast by them. I get up close and I put my foot down and I get by them. I don't trust them.
I was thinking the same thing today. I'm prepared to say, officer, I'm not going to be anywhere near one of those trucks.
And as a guy that's made a drive or two at this time of the year around the Great Lakes, that's the thing you see in the ditch all the time, are the semi-drivers.
What is the problem? Are we not training truck drivers? Is there a shortage of truck drivers?
It's the footwear, Joe.
Sandals.
Yep.
Are we allowing? I don't know.
I can help you.
Clientele that aren't seasoned.
It's a tough way to make a living, but the pay is decent.
Are we sidestepping around it enough here?
We're basically handing out Class A's like they're Halloween candy, Joe. That's your
I'm
problem.
sitting on some hearsay stories that are so good.
Call either one of my brothers; they'll give you the full.
To operators that just might not know what they're doing yet.
Yeah, or on Twitter, Josh or Vic. They both have.
Yes.
They're both seasoned truck drivers, and they have millions of stories.
Netflix.
Go ahead, John.
Netflix announcing this morning it had modified its December offer to acquire major parts of Warner Brothers Discovery, a rejoinder to Paramount and its chief executive, David Ellison, who's also in hot pursuit of Warner Brothers. In December, you'll remember Warner Brothers Discovery agreed to sell its streaming and studio business to Netflix in an $83 billion cash and stock deal.
Holy crap.
Well, this morning, Netflix said it would pay that sum exclusively in cash, simplifying the deal for investors who will no longer have to account for Netflix's fluctuating stock price.
Here to break it down is Joe Souchere.
Wow. David Zaslav, the chief executive of Warner Brothers, said in a statement, today's revised merger agreement brings us even closer to combining two of the greatest storytelling companies in the world.
No. Go ahead. Keep going so I can keep saying no.
The move puts pressure on Paramount to further revise its own bid after Warner Brothers Discovery rejected its latest offer, saying it viewed the deal as more risky than Netflix's. While Paramount has modified the terms of its bid, it has not increased its offer in the week since Warner Brothers Discovery chose Netflix.
How close are we from just one company owning all entertainment outlets? All of them.
Very close, I would think.
Yeah.
Basically, what that means then is Netflix's subscription rate's going to double. in your monthly bill.
And the product is garbage. It's propaganda, whatever they want you to see.
Yes.
So I really need to call Comcast and say, cut my cable bill in by 2/3.
Yeah.
I got Netflix, I got Peacock, I got all that other shit.
How do you watch Dancing with the Stars?
ABC.
Got it.
Yeah. This is a weird story, and I don't know. A beloved.
You weren't supposed to talk to him or look at him.
It was a general inquiry.
I don't want that.
Based upon the
he's
subject
supposed
matter.
No, stare at your computer.
Got it.
A beloved Florida pastry chef was tragically killed after getting caught in a bread mixing machine at a grocery store where he worked. 71-year-old Mordechai Grunberger was found dead at the South Florida Kosher Market in North Miami Beach early Friday morning after the freak accident with an industrial dough mixer, according to police. Authorities think the longtime employee got lodged in the machine. They do not suspect foul play. Police said at this time there are no signs of foul play. We think the incident was accidental. The kosher grocer shut its doors Friday in the wake of the fatal incident. Police say they are not quite sure what led to the deadly accident, but they are still looking into it. Grunberger had identified himself as the head pastry chef on his Facebook page. His grief-stricken wife, Ina Gostman-Moore, shared her devastation on social media Friday, saying, "Today, my beloved husband, Mickey, my closest person in my life, my best friend, and father of my 2 beautiful sons, tragically passed away." OSHA, among the people who are investigating the deadly incident.
This has David Lynch written all over it.
Does this taste like rye?
Tastes bitter. I've seen some guys at Cecil's missing, maybe 2 or 3 digits, but they've never fallen into the
John,
the bread
isn't
maker.
this could be the beginning of a David Lynch movie, easily.
It could, yes.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who drowned in the Guinness factory. It took him a
How
long
did that?
time
Forgot.
because he got out twice to take a leak, Ooh.
And one more weird one. One more weird story
Yes,
to wrap it up,
please.
shall
Move
we?
on.
A and I didn't, Kenny, you're a firearms guy, so you help me out with this one, okay? A shoplifting incident in Stuart, Florida, escalated into a potentially dangerous situation when Martin County deputies discovered a suspect trying to ignite a shotgun slug in a Panera bathroom last week. It gets weirder. Martin County Sheriff John Budensiak said deputies initially believed they were arresting a shoplifting suspect, but everything escalated quickly. The sheriff said the incident began when staff at a Publix in Stuart caught Hugh Okoye shoplifting. The sheriff said he was aggressive toward them, meaning he was confrontational. He didn't fight, but he was confrontational. Okoye then left the store, walked to a nearby Panera, and entered the bathroom, screaming at people along the way. Deputies found Okoye in the bathroom shortly after. Initially, they thought he was smoking drugs, but they soon realized that what he was doing was he had stuck a 12-gauge shotgun slug in his mouth. He was using a lighter to try to make the slug fire. Oh. Does that make sense? So he was trying to commit suicide, right?
Well, he's an idiot. I mean, I just happen to have.
How long does it take? Yeah, how long does it take?
He happens to have one.
Look at here.
I've
got a shotgun shell. But look it's crimped on the ends because it's full of BBs. The slug, you would actually see the top of a lead slug sticking out. The powder, is down here,
right,
by the primer. Right. So he's holding a lighter up, like there. He's holding the lighter up and burning his whiskers.
Damn it.
And there's no way in hell it's going to do anything.
They're never going to find me in here.
The sheriff said he was using the lighter to try to make the slug fire, and he said to their surprise, deputies realized that what the suspect was doing was trying to set it off. And the sheriff said that rarely happens. Sometimes you see it, especially on TV shows, when a car catches on fire and slugs start going off. The deputies intervened before any harm occurred, taking Okoye into custody and confiscating 2 shotgun slugs.
I've been told by firefighters that to not fear your ammunition going off if there's a house fire. It'll just simply spit out. It won't have any power.
It'll just go kapoo.
It'll just go poof.
Got it.
Here, I thought, John, you were going to say he saw it on Looney Tunes.
I have no way of
Coyote.
I don't know if that is true. Let me preface there.
Right.
So no emails, please. No hate emails.
Why don't we Thank you.
More so than normal, Kenny, right? More so than normal.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And just take a brief time out.
Okay.
Hey, folks, it's Patrick Ricey, and fruitcake is back on the menu, baby. Let me ask you something. Would you be happy if the only dessert you got this holiday season was fruitcake? Well, no, neither would I. That's what it's like when you've got one insurance agent with just one company. You don't have any options. That's why I work with the Canopy Group. They're an insurance agency that's unique because they offer 16 carefully selected companies for your home and auto insurance. 16. And behind the scenes, they've got 50 licensed elves. Okay, they're agents, but this time of year, let's call them elves, making sure you always have the best coverage at the best price. So this holiday season, don't settle for fruitcake. Get options. Visit the Canopy Group and see what they can do for you. thecanopygroup.com.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life.
Well, stop it.
Joe Souchere.
Oh, my God.
I want to set it up.
No. Well, didn't you notice how you kissed the post, my friend?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
You couldn't have gotten any closer. Wow.
Yeah, he stumbled over that by accident.
You're right.
You didn't even.
Well, I wanted to set it up.
Set her up. Okay.
You'll never be able to do that again.
Right. Jeff Dayton has a great review of the song you just heard, When It's Cold in Texas. There's something deeply reassuring about a country song that knows exactly what it is and refuses to dress itself up for trends it doesn't believe in. Jeff Dayton's latest single, When It's Cold in Texas, arrives with that kind of quiet confidence, sounding like a seasoned storyteller stepping back into the firelight where he belongs. From the opening bars, the track leans into motion and melody rather than spectacle. The rhythm glides with an easy swing built for dance floors that still value shared steps and unspoken understanding. Dayton's voice carries the weight of experience without ever feeling heavy. Instead, it feels lived in, relaxed, and certain. This is a song sung by someone who has watched seasons change and learned which details matter. Lyrically, the song thrives on clarity. Dayton lets simple imagery do the work, delivering a narrative that feels romantic without sentimentality and grounded without losing its charm. It's the kind of writing that trusts that a well-placed line can say more than a dozen clever turns of phrase.
This is cold.
When it's cold in Texas.
When it's cold in Texas, it cuts right through your clothes. The cows crowd together and lovers hold each other close. There's frost on the windows, the blankets aren't enough. When it's cold in Texas, that's when I miss your love.
Oh, he's heartbroken.
The wind blows through the floorboards. There's no warmth in the sun. I shiver with regret for all the foolish things I've done. There's no words I can think of to ever bring you home. When it's cold in Texas, sure makes a man feel alone. I wish that we were somewhere warm, laughing in the sun, making memories like we used to do. Yeah, there's snow on the hilltops and ice along the coast. When it's cold in Texas, that's when I need you most.
do that for us here?
I don't remember if he did or not.
It was either on GL or on Krabby. I remember asking him, or was it live?
John,
I don't.
I love when they bring the strings in, though.
John,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Don't call a fiddle the strings, Matthew.
I like it a lot, and thank you for saying that to rookie Kenny, because that drove me nuts too.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna have a song with Texas in the title, you got to have a fiddle solo.
Yeah.
You
But
gotta.
I've got 3 or 4 country stations on my preset list, and outlaw country and other things.
You like Luke Bryan? Is that the deal?
Not really. What?
Turn your mic off, Chris.
I wonder what determines whether this might make it or not make it. It's just if it gets airplay, I guess.
Yeah.
Depends on whose ass he kisses.
Little plug-ola or payola.
In the business.
Promotion.
You know what I liked about it? I think I could play that on bass.
A pretty simple bass line, but it worked.
I think I could do it.
There was a steel guitar, right?
Yep.
So all kinds
What
of
he needs to do is hand him the CD and say, "This is my new CD. It's as cold as my ex's." And then say inside there's Mr. Franklin from the bank, if you could.
Well, here's another important paragraph in the review. What makes When It's Cold in Texas especially compelling is how it reflects a broader moment within country music. As audiences increasingly gravitate back towards songs with spine, heart, and narrative integrity, Dayton sounds perfectly positioned. His long journey through studio stages and collaborations has clearly sharpened his instincts rather than dulled them. This single opens its arms, taps its boot heel on the floor, and invites you in. In doing so, Jeff Dayton reminds us why country music endures, because it's honest and because sometimes the coldest places make room for the warmest songs.
So that's not a direct shot, but that's kind of a shot at current country music.
It's
What
a
are
direct
current
shot.
country
It's a
music?
shot.
It's a direct shot.
But I think it's also
Maybe he'll have the last laugh.
it's a shot at that, but it's also, don't you take it as the song that we played a couple of weeks ago, the #1 song in country, was an AI generated tune?
That's why we had Jeff on Krabby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I don't think, Chris, that AI music and what's currently on country radio has much difference in it. So
That's a good point.
How
I
would
think
you
it's a shot at the
describe?
yes thing.
Exactly, John.
How would you guys describe a current country music song? If that guy's going back to Dayton's Heartbroken and so forth.
Well,
what is
it all
current country?
depends on the artist. I mean, if you're talking Chris Stapleton, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything
agreed.
he does, because you know it comes from Chris Stapleton.
There's a whole group of alternative country artists who do actual real country, which to me makes it weird that they're called alternative country.
Right.
But there's 10 of them I could name off the top of my head. They don't have country hits because they're not on country radio.
Where's Morgan Wallen?
Oh, boy.
I mean, he's the antithesis.
He's probably in jail,
of
right?
Jeff Dayton.
He's the antithesis. That's pretty correct.
Yeah.
And knowing Jeff
And
the way
he's
we
selling
do,
out stadiums.
Jeff would not appreciate the comparison, I don't think.
Well, I'm not comparing him.
But he's
the
far too
antithesis.
nice to ever say anything.
Jeff
like
would
that.
never say
Jeff
anything
would
like
never
that.
say
I know, that's
anything
my
about
job.
any other artist.
That's
Plus,
my
you-
job.
That's your job,
You
correct.
never know. You don't want to
Say-
eliminate any future gigs.
Jeff,
Exactly.
Jeff does a podcast.
I know
And
he does.
He released one 11 hours ago with Marcia Ramirez, who has played with Rodney Crowell, Pam Tillis, Christopher Cross, Patty Loveless. She's a singer-songwriter from Nashville. His podcasts are really fun. He talks to a lot of musicians that have been on the road for a long time. Very informative and very fun.
Joe, when you were a guest on that podcast, that was a while ago, right? A couple months ago, maybe?
During the state fair.
During the state fair, when you were a guest on that show, did you rip the president like you did when you were the guest on the...
No, didn't.
You
come
know
up.
what he did?
Didn't come up.
You know what he did? I saw a sign of Joe we've never seen before, ever. He talked about us four in kind of almost an appreciative tone.
Oh,
he didn't rip us.
Yeah.
Well, except you, Matt.
I don't.
But
I'm
the
not
other,
sure
he took a
you're
shot at me.
painting me again in the wrong light. I don't rip anybody.
Joe, why do you not like us?
Except the guy who should be sitting in a rocking chair in the front porch of the Breakers.
you have no control at all.
None. It's my job.
I was really hoping you would bring this up yesterday. You forwarded all of us, I think, a Wall Street. No, not Wall Street. Where was that article?
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal about John Mellencamp.
Told you that yesterday on the air.
Not on the air, you didn't.
We didn't?
No. And I thought it was really interesting, and we never got around to talking about it yesterday. What was the gist of that article? I wasn't able to open it up.
Mellencamp is from Indiana. He gave Indiana University a couple of years ago $1.5 million for training facilities. And the school said, can we do anything for you? And he said, I want to be able to smoke when I go to a game. So he's got a little wood smoking shack somewhere in Indiana Stadium. And he's in there alone. He smokes. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. He just wants to watch the game. That's what he got for the $1.5 million.
He wants to be left alone.
He wants to be left alone with his cigarettes, and he just wants to be in his smoke shack. That alone made me root for Indiana, and they pulled it out.
He might be the last smoker in America.
Yeah, he according to John, he's not going to give it up either.
He says he never will, and he's had, 2 heart attacks?
I mean, he's crazy. He's just killing himself.
I saw an interview with him last week when he really reminded me of Lee Elia when Lee ripped the Cub
Are you sure
fans.
we didn't do this on the air yesterday?
No, this was before the show. And John just ripped into his fans for having a good time at concerts.
He's been known to stop in the middle of songs. And say,
if he comes here on this, audience. He's going out on a big tour of all his hits.
Coming here.
Then I want to see him. I've never seen him live.
I'll look it up for you here.
Yeah, I want to see him.
The fun part about going to arena shows, whether they're indoor or outdoor festivals, is the party atmosphere. The beach balls flying around,
right.
the haze, the spilled beers. It's the party.
I will warn you, Joe. You may get some speeches you don't like from him.
No, I don't care.
That's government music.
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. If it does Cherry Bomb, I'll be happy.
Oh, is that your favorite
That's
one?
when a smoke was a smoke.
That's when a smoke was a smoke.
Right.
I actually have a John Mellencamp video saved on my phone.
I know which one you have.
He saw him at First Avenue with about 5 other guys.
No.
I know the one you got.
You should look it up. John Mellencamp let it all hang out. Matthew, go to the internet right now.
I already know what you're talking about, and yes.
It's wonderful.
I can't with my son here.
Okay. I forgot Gabe was there. Yeah, it's proof of a higher power, let me tell you that.
How many of us remember, probably Joe, I'm guessing, that actually is a cover? Maybe Joe doesn't even remember
I didn't know that.
I didn't know
either. What's the song again?
Let It All Hang Out.
Yeah, that's a cover.
Yeah, the Hombres had a hit one.
We have now lost Kenny for the remainder
Why don't
of
you
the
guys
program.
finish up the show? I got something to do with it.
To tell you what Kenny's up to, there's a very fetching young woman who dances to the song. That's about it. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, Kenny only watches
don't belittle it like that.
25-second
Joe?
Yeah.
July 14th, he will be at the brand new
Toledo
Mystic Lake Amphitheater in Shakopee.
Poop.
I'm not driving all the way to Shakopee.
That's too far.
John, when is he coming?
July 14th.
Huh. What day is that, I wonder?
I'm prepared to drive across the country to see Southern Culture on the Skids. I can't believe this band has been around for as long as they have, and I haven't seen them.
Why don't they
Southern
ever come
Culture?
up here?
Southern Culture on the Skids.
Never heard of them.
Oh, my goodness. They're so wonderful, Joe.
Well, that'll be in the summer, though. That'll be nice for Mellencamp.
Yeah, and that's outdoors.
That amphitheater is going to be sweet when it opens.
There and you shut your mouth and you pay respect to the artist.
That's what I do anyway. Yesterday I was wondering...
Rookie, I'm so disappointed in you.
Huh?
We just had a 6-minute discussion about John Mellencamp.
I was going to, but I did self-edit.
You're not supposed to.
I know. I said I'm proud of him.
It had to do with watermelons.
Can I tell you that I asked yesterday, I wonder why the Lymans are in Kaiwaka, New Zealand. And Tom writes back, on yesterday's podcast, you wonder why we decided to stay in Kaiwaka. Yeah. There is not much wildlife in the area. There are several peacocks and other birds. It is a rural area, mostly farming. There are lots of sheep and cattle grazing the surrounding hills. We decided that between the cruise we disembarked in December and embarking on the same ship in April, there were 4 months in between. New Zealand and Australia each allow Each only allow U.S. citizens to stay up to 90 days. So we decided to split the time between those two countries. We'll stay 2 months in Kaiwaka, then fly from Auckland to Hobart. We'll drive to Penguin, Tasmania, Australia, where we rented a vacation home from there. In April, we'll fly from Hobart to Brisbane, then board the same cruise ship and sail for 25 days on a trans-Pacific cruise from Brisbane, Australia to Seattle, Washington. All these bookings were predicated due to the fact that we wanted to be back in Minnesota in May and June for our grandson's graduation. We'll be in Minnesota from May 16 to June 5. Well, consider yourself booked during that time, traveling Lymans. Isn't that something? The organization they have for this worldwide adventure they're on is extraordinary.
Yes.
They're global nomads.
They're just really good at it. And like I said, they really must like each other.
It's not for everybody.
Worldwide Waftage?
Worldwidewaftage.com. And it's only because they come to us all the way from Kaiwaka, New Zealand. It was on this day.
Joe, today is January 20th.
In 1896, on a theatrical tour, Calamity Jane. Anybody know her real name?
Calamity Jane was
Martha Canary Burke.
You beat me to it.
Appeared at the Palace Museum in Minneapolis, dressed in the male attire of buckskin jacket and trousers, and giving the people of the eastern cities an opportunity of seeing the woman scout who was made so famous through her daring career in the West and Black Hill countries.
Her portrayal on the HBO show of Deadwood was phenomenal. I learned a lot of new words.
I bet. On this day,
Jan 20,
in 1961, a fire destroyed the Crosby family home, which had been built at the foot of Montreal Street in St. Paul and is now the site of Crosby Farm Park.
Love that.
I wish I could remember or claim that I had remembered that. I don't. Because I wasn't around there in 1961.
No, you weren't around here.
On this day,
Jan 20,
in 1969, President Lyndon Johnson bestowed the Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor awarded by the U.S., on civil rights activist Roy Wilkins. Wilkins was born in Mississippi but spent most of his life in St. Paul. In 1923, he graduated from the University of Minnesota, where he was the Minnesota Daily's first black reporter and editor. He served as executive director of the NAACP from 1955 to 1977. A postage stamp honoring him was issued in 2001. Did you note that the Trumper was the first president to completely ignore MLK Day? Never mentioned it yesterday.
Huh.
Crosby Park is down on Shepherd.
Well, if Montreal spills right across, if you cross Shepherd, go down, there was Crosby Park.
So is it by Summit?
It's where everybody bikes.
Summit Brewing, it's in that neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go a little further to the
On this
south.
day,
Jan 20.
in 1981, Lowell Bruce Langan, who grew up in Odin, Minnesota, was one of 52 hostages released from the American embassy in Tehran after being held by Islamic militants for 444 days during the Iran hostage crisis. Langan was chargé d'affaires at the embassy.
Got it.
We have a town named after a Norse god?
I hope so. It's Minnesota.
That's cool.
Odin.
Yeah.
On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history.
Joe, who did we lose to on Jan 20?
Well, on this day in 1974, Harry Neal was kicked out of a game for throwing chairs onto the rink.
Ooh.
All right. On this day,
Jan 20.
In 1977, on this day, the second incarnation of the Fighting Saints franchise officially folded. Thank you, GLers.
Word.
To your mother.
Do us a favor, if you have not done so already, hit the subscribe button right there on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Yep, that's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube, along with all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day. And it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com. It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, a historic turnaround for the Indiana Hoosiers football program. And boy, oh boy, I have a feeling that DraftKings and the like that you always tout, they probably had a big night last night, didn't they?
I'm sure the DraftKings did have a big night last night, as did FanDuel having a big night, and probably some of the other sports books and the predictions market, but that is not reflected today in the stock prices of DraftKings, Flutter, which owns FanDuel, or Robinhood, which has one of the bigger predictions market. Game was very, very close, and probably we'll say somebody did not cover the spread, so to speak, and maybe the bettors thought the difference would be a lot bigger for Indiana over Miami, and there was a chance of a little bit of an up, but it was a very, very good game. And Indiana is the first team in about 130 years to have a 16-0 season. The last one was the Yale Bulldogs back in, I think, 1897. Going that many games undefeated obviously is unprecedented. I'll say my two sons, graduates of Indiana, were extremely happy. My brother, a graduate of the University of Miami, not so much. So a lot of, I'll say, a little bit of money hands in the Arnold family over this particular game. And speaking of changing hands, well, the Sell America trade is in force today, as over the weekend, the president threatened significant tariff on several European countries over Greenland. He said unless he or the United States wins Greenland, the tariff will go in force, 10% tariffs on several European countries. In February, another event that increases to 25% in July if no deal is struck with Greenland. Now, there are many ways you can look at this. Either, I'll say, one is a show of power, two, definitely a show of force, three, could be extending, we'll say, the Trump doctrine to minimize threat China and Russia, and four, this could be the start, if it hasn't already happened, of an unraveling, I'll say, relationship that have been in force since World War II, and that could change a lot of dynamic around the world. But the big concern among several traders is that the Europeans start selling U.S. government bonds as well as U.S. stocks that they have in their portfolio. Now, a lot of people say, well, this would be horrible, and yes, it would be bad should the Europeans start selling bonds or any other country start selling U.S. bonds in mass. What would happen? Bond prices would go down and yields would go up. And as yields go up, that means the cost of borrowing goes up, and that is definitely a hurt for a lot of, not all of, but a lot of technology shares or those companies that need to borrow money. But if you are a bond holder and bonds go down and yield go up, bond prices go go down and yield go up. Or if you own bond funds, your bond fund value goes down even though your yield goes up. And you're forced to wait either until interest rates come down or until countries start buying back bonds. And the selling of bonds creates what the Fed has done this, selling bonds. That creates a quantitative tightening position with yields up, and that can slow economic growth. And that becomes negative. But the sellers of bonds, as yields go up, are not going to be winners at all. They are going to be, or could be, we'll say, significant losers. And we've seen this before. Just look at the long-term U.S. Treasury Index, which is still significantly underwater, even from last year's high, much less the 2022 high. So from the 2022 high till today, the long-term Treasury Index is down close to 50%. That to me is very significant. And other bond, we'll say bond indices are also down, though not as much. So if you have bonds in your portfolio or bonds in your or bond funds within your 401k, or even you have in your 401k the target date funds, you're going to have a good position in bond funds. And my suggestion is don't. As I've said previously, growth will out. And yes, owning shares does subject you to volatility, such as the volatility we've seen today with the indices down big numbers. Technology shares down. Bank stocks down. And only a few stocks trading in the green. Those are around energy and we'll say energy and beverages, as well as a few defense-oriented names. But my suggestion within the 401k or even in your own personal portfolio or IRA, stay away from the bond funds and gravitate to individual stocks or stock funds.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation, again, with zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.